Welcome to the next episode of Revolutionary Talk. In this episode, we're going to discuss if essential oils are worth the money. So, I feel like there are just, in general, a lot of misconceptions about essential oils, and it's like, almost like, dang, where do we even start with it? First off, you see them for sale everywhere, and, you know, I can imagine you know better than me, but not all are the same. I mean, what's the biggest misconception that you see with essential oils?
Well, it was the same misconception that I had, honestly, when I started learning about them and purchased my first set. And that was assuming that the labels were being honest. And by that I mean that I picked up oils that said organic, like they had the organic label on it, and it said 100% pure. But little did I know how much it actually took to create and produce an actual, like, 100% pure, authentic essential oil. So, unfortunately, the government does not truly regulate essential oils like I believe they should. Yeah. And so, companies actually can get away with putting 100% pure on the label as long as the bottle of the oil contains 5%.
Yeah, I was going to say, you said 5%.
Actual essential oil in it.
That's crazy. So it's like, whose definition of pure?
Yeah. And
whose definition?
What would you say is the biggest difference between, like, say, like Young Living, who has the pure oils, versus like some you can get at a grocery store for $5 that are 100% organic? Like, what's the big? I know there's a ton, but like, what's the kill shot, or like?
The biggest thing, difference-wise, between any company, really, and that just, it doesn't have to be essential oils, but we can look at food, we can look at a lot of things, but it's, does that company actually produce their products?
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, so white labeling and whatnot?
Right.
Cool.
Or are they, white labeling, picking up wholesale, then just slapping their brand on it and reselling it?
Yeah.
Unless you truly know, like Young Living says, for instance, you have to know your soil to know your oil.
Sure.
For instance, because like if you don't even know what your plant or what your the oil, what the oil is coming from, where that plant was grown out, if you don't have any idea, you don't actually know what you're getting in that drop of oil that you're putting onto your skin.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one. I mean, it could go for anything, but especially in this case when labels can be so misleading, you really have to do your own research and see where things are being sourced and get some background information first.
Absolutely. And I encourage everybody to do their research, not just with essential oils, but everything. Because, I mean, marketing is so easy just to put information out there and make it look pretty and appealing for you to like look at and click on it. Right. But how much value is actually behind the product that they're selling?
Yeah.
So
that's interesting. So definitely good advice there. The next piece that I feel like is a misconception is they see essential oils more as maybe a nice bonus, but not essential, right? But in an interesting story that you told at one of your recent events about how the woman, I forget where she's from, she was hundreds of years old walking around. You might tell that abbreviated story here, but that definitely hit home. And if you could add years on your life, I'd say it's pretty essential.
Yeah, I'd say it's essential. The story I think you're referring to is actually about Ninja Red and the lady that was 121 years old.
That was it.
Yeah. 121 years old.
Dang,
and still working in her garden with her 98-year-old daughter. Is the story behind that.
Oh my God. There's some genetics and nutrition, my word.
Well, that's the thing. It's like genetics, the more we get into learning about epigenetics, the more we're understanding that it's not truly our genetics that have so much of an impact on our health and wellness and our current. It's more of the environmental factors that impact our health.
Environmental turns on epigenetics, and that turns on alleles, and now you're expressing new variations of genes, and whew.
And so do emotions.
Yeah, but essential oils, if you get some good ones, they can always suppress that too. Or, help diffuse,
help work through
peace and calm.
Yeah, help work through those things. Yeah, literally diffuse. And help to work through those issues, or work through those blocks as well. Because I mean, we're human. We're naturally trapping emotions in, whether we realize it or not. And essential oils, because they work so well with impacting our amygdala, our olfactory bulb, all the hypothalamus.
Yeah, hypothalamus.
Hypothalamus with the emotional center of our brain. It's helping our physical bodies and our mental body, and spiritual for that matter, to help move past whatever blocks that we may be working towards too. And on that note, I'll mention that essential oils, because not all of them are pure out there, some essential oils, for instance, like the ones that we use from Young Living, are, I can confirm that they're, 100% pure based on my experience of going to a couple of their farms multiple times and being able to see that process completely transparently. How when somebody smells an essential oil from Young Living, for instance, may not like the smell of it, they say it's because you need it emotionally.
Yeah.
You need it for emotional support.
I felt that earlier.
Compared to, like, if you were to pick up oil from the store, like you were saying earlier, and like, oh, I don't like the smell of that. Well, your body may actually be recognizing, like, this is a chemical. Like, this is not, it's a harsh chemical. It's not good for my body. It's toxic. It's not good for me. But if you're not aware of the difference, like taking a lavender from the store versus a lavender, for instance, from Young Living, and putting it side by side and smelling it, we may never realize that there's a complete quality difference in how essential oils are made out on the market. So, with that said, like, if you're going through the laundry cleaning aisle at the store and smelling those harsh chemicals, like, especially after you've been using the real thing for a while, your body's quicker to recognize the not so great stuff for it.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Dang, that's interesting. I need to recognize that next time I walk down that aisle and see if I get a reaction. And you brought up an interesting point, which had to do with last episode of mental health, which, as we learned, affects physical health, and how essential oils can help your mental health. It's this circle of life here that we're all learning. So that's a good point.
Well planned.
Yep. Look at that.
All hand in hand.
Boom.
So, any final tips or things that come to mind when it comes to helping people get over those misconceptions of essential oils?
Sure. A big thing that I notice that I experience, a lot of people are like, whoa, is the price tag on the true, authentic stuff. And I mean, you see a pretty high price tag on essential oils that are out there that are not so pure, in my opinion. But really, we have to think about what it is that product is set out to do. What is the value behind that product? Because as a lot of us are so easily to think, well, there's only one use for this one product. Like, it's so common to, like, okay, I'm just going to go to the store to buy this paper towel roll. Well, paper towel roll is really only going to have one use to it, right? With essential oils, you can pick up one bottle and it can have hundreds of uses to it.
For sure.
And so when you look at the price tag, it may look expensive, perhaps, and it depends on the oil too, because some oils can be lower in price versus some that are higher in price. And it really just depends on how much of the plant material it takes to produce it and the whole process to making it pure, or to be sure that it's a pure product. But it's when we're using essential oils, we're only using a couple drops at a time. And so what we're paying for truly is a few cents a drop for each use. Like, that's, it's pennies. And our oils, fortunately, because they are pure, they do not expire, with the exception of citrus oils, because they're not truly essential oils. But any of the plants that are steam distilled, they don't expire as long as they're truly 100% pure.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's good to know. So if you're seeing any oils out there that expire, I would check on that source. It might not be worth it, even if it's a little cheaper, right? So a lot of times you get what you pay for.
Absolutely. You do. You get what you pay for. Unfortunately, there are those companies that will take advantage of the fact some people are naive to the industry, but that's
Yeah.
why you find qualified people who understand the process of how to get true essential oils.
Absolutely. Love it. Smashed that myth as well. That's 4 for you. So stay tuned for next week. We'll have another episode for you. Thanks for tuning in.